You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Black and White sports fans, let's talk about the NFL. NFL season is going to be starting up here with training camp here in the next couple of weeks. Is Tom Brady going to win his 8th Super Bowl? Unprecedented. He's the GOAT. We all know that. Are the Dallas Cowboys going to make the NFL playoffs? So they're actually going to go to the Super Bowl now that Dak Prescott is coming back from that horrific ankle injury? Can the Chiefs recover from getting massacred in the Super Bowl? That is just some of the questions that we should be talking about this NFL season. But oh no, the talking point right now, we need to address this, is the wokeness in the NFL. We saw what went on last year during the NFL season, kneeling for the national anthem, social justice messaging in the end zones on the back of helmets. It was a disaster. The NFL had all-time low ratings. The NFL ratings were a disaster last season. And apparently now the NFL has not learned its lesson, because now it is reported that the NFL is going to double down and do exactly what they did last season. The kneeling for the national anthem, I guess that's going to be back. But Black National Anthem, that's coming back. Social justice messaging is now back. They're buying into the Black Lives Matter stuff. And boy, I got a lot to say about that. I really, really do. I don't know if I'm going to get all into it in this video, guys, but Roger Goodell apparently learned nothing from the NBA. Nothing. The NBA still hasn't really recovered. The ratings for the NBA Finals now are still lower than in 2019. So we're going to be diving into all of this about the NFL, folks, in this video, guys. But first, make sure you guys head over to the Black and White Network store. Get you a stand-up 1776 shirt. This is an oldie, but a goodie. I'm rocking it right now because we actually like to stand for the national anthem. We don't like kneeling for the national anthem. And we're going to give you 21% off your purchase, folks, if you use the discount code LaChanaSucks, S-U-X, all one word. So let's get into it, guys. Here we go. NFL 2021 season will include Black National Anthem social justice messages again, according to reports. Now, this is via Fox News from Front Office Sports. It says here, the Black National Anthem is reportedly set to return before NFL games for good, starting in 2021. So last season was not a one-off. They're going to play this every single game, I'm assuming, and I'm pretty sure the players are going to stand up for the Black National Anthem, which is not even really the Black National Anthem because it was actually written for Abraham Lincoln, but I digress. Are the players going to stand for that and kneel for the actual national anthem? We'll have to see. It says Lift Every Voice and Sing was played before the start of Week 1 games during the 2020 NFL season. And Front Office Sports reported Wednesday the NFL plans to make it a prominent part of big league events. Boy, they never learn. The NFL allows social justice phrases like end racism to be painted in the back of teams' end zones, and players were able to honor victims of systemic racism and police violence last year. Front Office Sports reported the NFL plans on ratcheting up the messaging for the 2021 season. Oh my goodness. They have learned nothing. Nothing. We actually made videos on this last year, and this really blew up the channel a lot, especially with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers players, I'm going to make this quick. They had to put the name of Antoine Rose Jr. on the back of their helmets. This man was not a victim of systemic racism. This man was a cold, hard criminal. Was he shot by the police? Absolutely. And he deserved it, unfortunately. No, it's unfortunate that he died, but he got what he deserved. He was a criminal, and the players rebelled, and they didn't want to put his name on the back of their helmets. Go ahead and check that video out if you can actually find it. This is a disaster. A disaster. The NFL doubling down on lies. It says here, though, the national anthem is usually heard before early season games or some primetime games, the Super Bowl, and the NFL draft. Lift Every Voice and Sing was played before Super Bowl for the Super Bowl this past year, and the draft in April. The league made the decision to play Lift Every Voice and Sing before Week 1 games last year in the midst of a summer of racial unrest across major metropolitan cities in the U.S. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell acknowledged the Black Lives Matter movement as well. Quote, "We at the National Football League believe Black Lives Matter. I personally protest with you, and I want to be part of the much needed change in this country," he said in last year's video. Well, folks, what is Black Lives Matter doing now? They're out there praising the communist regime in Cuba. It was never about Black lives. It was always about a communist, Marxist, Leninist, Maoist agenda. We've seen what's actually going on out there in Cuba. Is the NFL going to say something about the people in Cuba? Of course not. Of course not, because it doesn't affect their bottom line. This is nothing more than virtue signaling. Roger Goodell, what are you doing? But it goes on here. He says, without black players, there would be no National Football League, and the protests around the country are emblematic of the centuries of silence, inequality, and oppression of black players, coaches, fans, and staff. Hold on a second. How are black players oppressed? Let me know that. What black player is oppressed? Probably can't even answer that. But he says, we're listening, I am listening, and I will be reaching out to players who have raised their voices and others on how we can improve and go forward for a better and more unified NFL family. This is disgusting, folks. I'm absolutely disgusted here by the NFL. You even had the NFL last season apologizing to Colin Kaepernick, a man that was pro-Castro, pro-communist. Is the NFL, are they pro-communist? Obviously they are. It seems like that to me. They're going to be doubling down and being more divisive and lying to people. Nobody wants to see this stuff. Unfortunately, we have to cover the NFL. But I'm pretty sure you guys, knowing our subscriber base here, you guys won't be watching. And you know what? It's the NFL's fault. They are so out of touch with everybody. Everybody. I mean, even the NBA didn't have the social justice messaging on the court this season. They really didn't even start kneeling for the national anthem, until something else happened. They weren't the NBA bubble. It was still bad. It was still bad enough to where fans didn't come back. Now, the NFL, they've already lost fans, and now they're going to double down and not even try to make things right with the fans. Because the NFL is sending a message. If you do not agree with their agenda, folks, then you are the problem. That's what it is. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans. Let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to Black and White Sports, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.